Hey, folks, it's Dave here in Studio B tonight. Just got out of work and a little channel update here. I want to get you guys. Sorry for the noise. I got laundry going, I got fans going. It is really hot outside here, and it's really hot down here in Studio B. So I got all the fans going tonight. I'm hoping to get AC, at least some kind of AC down here at some point, but it's not looking good. It's hard to put um, AC down here in the basement. But anyway, a couple things I want to go over here tonight, real quick with you guys. I kind of look at you guys. You guys are kind of like family with us, with me and Ron. So we don't have a lot of secrets here. So you haven't seen me on much. I think the last time I was on, I was streaming that adventure game with Ron. In fact, it's right here. It's one of my new favorite games, Dice Conquest. I'm gonna get another one of these so I can take it on the road with me and keep it in the car because this is such a fun game. I mean, it's so addicting to play. But anyway, so what's going? I've not been on, as you know, and I haven't played anything. I haven't streamed anything. And Ron and I are trying to figure out when I'm going to do another digital to dice. Go. What happened is, as some of you might know, my wife had heart surgery yesterday, and things went well, but she's all cut open and busted open, and she's in a lot of pain, a lot of pain. But the surgery went well. She's in a lot of pain. So I've been taking a 45-minute ride to the hospital a couple times a day to see her, to drop her off, see her, come, whatever it is I need to do. And so that's what I've been doing, once or twice a day, taking the ride down to see her. So needless to say, between doing that and then, now we're down a man, next man up. There's no man up. It's just me. So I'm trying to take care of all the household stuff, take care of the dog, and whatever else needs to be done around here on a daily basis. Because there's a lot of things that she would help me with, even with my work. So now she's down and out with that. So needless to say, with all that, there's been no game playing. There's been no streaming, and I'm hoping maybe tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, if she's probably not coming home for at least another few days to a week. And if she's okay, I'm going to go see her tomorrow. If things are okay and I'm in a good place tomorrow night, I'm going to try to do something tomorrow night. That might be my only night until the weekend to do something. So, yeah. So I know Ron and I owe the Patreon supporters of the channel a video. I know I got to get something going for the channel members here on YouTube. And I got some really fun ideas for that. When things settle down, I got some really fun ideas. One of the things I want to do is, like me and Ron did, I want to know if anybody wants to play this with me, like Ron and I did. Just get over StreamYard and play this game. It's a fun co-op game. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. And so any of the channel members that might want to jump on and play that with me, like I did with Ron, that might be a fun thing to do. Or we could maybe play another game. It might be kind of fun to take my mind off things, just to kind of, chat with somebody and play a game, online or offline. It doesn't matter either way. So we will have some of that stuff coming up. It's just, I got some serious issues I'm dealing with right now with her. Luckily, I'm still kind of young enough that I can probably help her out a little bit, because when she comes home, I'm going to be helping her around the house. I can't imagine going through that. I'm hoping I don't need to go through that when I'm her age, or any age. Oh, but it's, yeah, it's scary. All the tubes and wires that she's hooked up to. It's like, oh my gosh. But she was talking to me today and watching TV, so I felt a little bit better about things. But anyway, so yeah, so that's coming up. I know we will get the Patreon video out. I'll get the members only video things going here. So please just be patient with me on that. And you guys always have been. That's been the great thing about this community, is you guys have always been patient when Ron and I go through personal things. So I want to say thank you so much for that. A couple other things of note here. We're coming up on finishing 5 years and starting year 6 of Digital to Dice, if you can believe it. Starting year 6, that means finishing 5 years. And at the end of July, which I think July is when we started this. Why we started it in the dead of the summer, I don't know, but we did. We're scheduled to have a really fantastic guest come on and kick off year 6. And I'm not going to say who it is, but you'll all know him. I think he's agreed to come on. I just got to tidy up the details, and I'm real excited to have him on to kick off year 6. And I made a little note here. It's going to be a guest to kick off the 6th year Well, yeah, and something made me think about Seventh Guest. Did any of you guys ever play Seventh Guest on the PC? Like it was like a '90s DOS game or something like that. It was called Seventh Guest, and it was just a little clicky puzzle game. It might have been, I think it was a Windows game, not a DOS game, but it was an old '90s game called Seventh Guest. I think I have it on Steam or one of the other services there, so I can actually play it still. I haven't played it, but it's called Seventh Guest. So I made a note that says guest for the sixth, and I was like, oh, Seventh Guest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've been chatting with this person on email. It's just a matter of nailing down a date at the end of July to see if they'll definitely come on and do it. But I'm excited about that. Kicking off year 6 with a very special guest. Also, this is obviously a sports channel. Let's call it what it is. But I've been enjoying some of the other games, the adventure games. There's a like a light military game I played called Pocket Landship, and I'm gonna probably play that a little bit more and probably play a little bit on the channel. I've already done videos for that, but I'm trying to expand into some different games. And like I said, I'm not getting rid of the sports by any means. That's what I really enjoy doing. But I think it's kind of fun, like ID does. ID Jesse, he goes and he does some other games, and he does he does the big stuff like the Gloom Havens, and it's like the 1,000 pieces. I'm not going to get into that. I just want to do like the little games here on the table, especially the big dice roll. And I keep going back to this game. Why I love this game. Look at all the dice you get. You get 7 die in this game, and you're rolling them all. It's just a dice placement game that you're fighting the monsters with. It's easy to play. It's fun. It's cooperative. It's low pressure game. It's a thinking man's game with dice, and that's what I look forward to playing. I like games like that with this quick games, easy to play, and it's. So you'll probably see some a little bit more non-sports game here on the channel. And again, I'm not leaving the sports, and I know some people aren't liking the fact that I'm doing non-sports stuff, but I think you got to branch out a little bit and have some fun with that. So anyway, that's kind of the update here. Why I haven't been on, and I'm going to try to sneak on at some point this week and get it done. If things continue to go well with my wife's recovery, then that I'm in a better frame of mind rather than having a call and saying that she's had a setback. So that is that. Someone else, and I'll get to the comments 1 second. So I got my new Cincinnati Stinger shirt on. Okay. And someone was asking about the Replay Gamer. Like, where's he's been? I actually messaged him and said, hey, look, there's a place that's got Stinger shirts on sale. I'm getting one. And I sent him the link. I said, you should get one while they're on sale. And he got back and he gave me the LOL. So he's still out there doing his thing. I don't think he's been streaming. He said he was busy with some things and he wouldn't elaborate, and I didn't push him on it. But some people are asking about him, and so I have been in contact with him. I try to contact some people that I don't hear from time to time, like Marco and Peter Miller and guys like that. I try to stay in touch with some of the guys that when they stop streaming, like, okay, let me check on see how you're doing. Just what we do here in the community, and I would like to think someone would check on me at some point. But yeah, so Peter, I'm sorry, Replay Gamer, he's just been kind of tied up with some things. He didn't say if they were good things or bad things, but he just said he's just dealing with some things. And so, but I did chat with him real quick about the Cincinnati Stingers shirt that they had. So let me get to the chat here. Fenner stops by. Family comes first. Thank you so much, Fenner. John down there in Dallas. Thank you so much. My aunt and uncle are actually out. They just retired, cruising the country right now, and they just went through Dallas in Santa Fe on their way to New Mexico, or in New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, it's on the way to Arizona, then Colorado, I think. So they've been cruising around every day on Facebook. You see where they are. It's kind of neat. But they just went through the Dallas area. Pesky Pole coming by. Oh, the Pesky Pole tested positive for COVID. Took him 4 years to finally get it. And it's med for both of these. Yeah. And you're restless and you can't sleep. Yeah. The only good thing I say, I'm trying to be a glass half full here. I know you feel like crap when you have it. And my wife's had it 2 or 3 times. I've had it once. But it seems to have, again, knock on wood, it seems to have, it's a lot less potent than it used to be. Now that everybody's pretty much got it in the whole bit, it's it's, the strain is weakened, so to speak. Doesn't mean that people still don't have problems with it. But when it first come out, it was like, oh boy, now it's not quite as bad as we once thought it was. Not again, not in every instance, but in general. Mike comes by. Thank you so much, Mike. Thanks for the note earlier today. I really appreciate that. I was answering a lot of emails and texts while I was up at the hospital today. We were watching Deal or No Deal. I think that's the only channel the hospital had. But she was kind of happy watching it. We were watching it together. I've never seen that show, and I don't know what it's all about. It looks kind of, it is what it is. But she was enjoying it, and that's all that mattered. So that was kind of neat. Alan, I'm just glad the surgery went well from experience with friends who went through that. The first few days are brutal, but things get much better soon. Hanging, I did. But there was everyone in hockey tonight. I was back to hockey tonight, and because she was doing okay today, so I was like, okay, I feel confident enough I can go back to work tonight. And everybody was asking, and there was one guy that works. He's not a doctor, but he works at hospitals in the heart care area. And he's like just what you said. The first few days are brutal, but he goes, it improves really quick. Not saying she's going to be, back to the gym lifting weights this week, but the first few days are really bad, but then it does turn pretty quick, and then you can get onto the regular recovery. So yes, I did hear that, and I'm kind of hoping that that's the case. Jack, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me, you guys. I will, spoiler alert, it is not Nomar Garciaparra. He's not our special guest. It is not. And Mike says they made it to January before catching COVID. Pretty miserable for a week. Lots of rest and fluids. Yeah. Yep. Now I think I told you my COVID story. I got it a year ago last Christmas. So it would have been 2022 or 2021. I forget which Christmas it was. It wasn't this past Christmas, which is 23. It might have been the one before 22, because the wife got it for the second time, and then I got it for the first time. And I just couldn't stop coughing. It was just a coughing fit. And I felt all right, just like I couldn't stop coughing. And then because I couldn't stop coughing, I couldn't sleep because I just coughed all night. And I remember I got home from the rink, one morning, and I said, I need to go to bed and get some sleep. And I finally, so she ends up testing me. She goes, I got a kit. Let me test you. She goes, you got COVID. I'm like, no, geez, no wonder why I've been coughing. And I said, but I'm so tired from not sleeping that it wore me down. I was really worn down. So I come downstairs, and I got a couch here. It's called my sick couch, because every time I'm sick, I come and sleep down here, and it's just so comfortable. And I was like leaning back, one leg in the air, one arm in the air. My head was laid back, but I could not cough. And I fell asleep. And I remember that I had these weird dreams, and I couldn't move. I was like frozen. And I remember like fighting to move. And then all of a sudden it just went, bah! And maybe I dreamt the whole thing, and I was just soaked. And it's like when you've ever had the flu and you got a fever, and and then all of a sudden the fever breaks. And that's what it was. And I woke up, and it was completely dark down here. I had no idea what day it was. And I get up, and I got a drink, and I wipe my face. And I was like, that was like one of the most messed up things I ever went through. And I looked at the clock, and I didn't know what day it was. And I'm like, well, I assumed that if I was in bed for 24 hours, she would have got me to the hospital somehow. So it was 3 or 4 hours that I was shivering, out of control, couldn't move. And then after that, it just took a couple of days of recovery. So I kind of had it all in one dose. It was just coughing, then a wicked flu for 5 hours. And then after that, it was just kind of, rest and recuperating. So that was my experience with it. Hers was very different than mine, but mine was like a wicked nasty flu for like 5 hours. But anyway, that's just my story. Sports Time Machine, thank you so much. Yeah, boy, I tell you, day one was tough, but day two, it was like, what a difference. And I'm kind of hoping tomorrow will be like even better. You know what I mean? Again, you see somebody right after surgery, it's pretty bad, but yeah, I'm hoping things will be better. And Fenner says branch out with some other games. The only problem is you have to budget how. I know. I was thinking that too. It's like I'm looking at some of these games that like look really fun. Like I played D&D back in like the 80s, and we just had fun with it. And I talk about how we played it, and I kept screwing it up, but we had a good time. And so I since I started playing the sports games here with the dice and the cards, I'm looking forward to what else I can play with cards and dice. Okay, because I was the video game guy. I was the adventure game guy and the video games, the puzzle games and the video games and the sports games. But so it's like if sports can give me so much joy and realism, then why can't I play an adventure game or a space game or anything like that with cards and dice and see if I can get that same feeling I can with the sports? And so that's why I've been playing some of these other games. In fact, I have one or two other ones, just small games. Again, we're talking like the $20 games. I'm not getting the big honking ones yet. But it's fun playing these little games here, and you're rolling the dice, you're flipping the cards, and it feels like like I say, when I'm playing the football games or the hockey games, and I'm doing all this stuff on the table, and holy cow, this feels like a hockey game, feels like a football game. And the same thing with these adventure games. Boy, this kind of really feels like an adventure game, and so I'm kind of hoping I can get into all that. Back to the chat room, and Johnny Crack Sports. It's getting weaker. Still a bear. Yeah, the COVID. It's still a bear. It really is. And so, but it's different for everyone. But overall, I think it's not. Well, I don't want to say too much, but it's not quite what it was. I think. Pesky Pole. My in-laws went to Europe. I picked up from the airport. They both tested positive the next day. Started feeling bad Sunday, which is a week after I picked them up. Yeah. That's how that's how all illnesses are. No matter what it is, you get it from somebody. Usually it's somebody you're close to. Like every time the wife gets sick, inevitably in a week or two, I get sick too, and I get the same thing. You just pass it back and forth. Barbara comes by. Hope all is well. Yeah. I mean, things went well. Things went well. Noble, thank you. It's been working. It's been working. And yeah. Yep, it is getting better. It was I'll share another little secret with you guys. So when I dropped her off Monday morning, we had to be there like 5:45. So it'd be it's a 45-minute drive, and then by the time you check in, so we get up at like 4:30 in the morning. So, and she had to take like a special shower or something like that to before the surgery. And so we get in there, and they're like, okay, well, we'll text you during the day. No sense you staying here because it's going to be a while, but we'll text you during the day and then figure out if you can come back here today or tomorrow. So I'm thinking she's going to be like all knocked out. There's no sense coming up. She's just going to be sleeping. And not to sound insensitive, but she won't remember that we're there. It's a long way to go. I'm going to be tired and stressed. And so as long as I know that she's okay, then I'll see it when she wakes up. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but that was the plan. That if I called up and I said, "Yep, she's going to be out for the next 12 hours. Come up in the morning, fine, I'll do it." So I drop her off, and I come home, and I'm tired because I get up at 4:30. So I'm just sitting here chilling out, and 8:30, I get a text, and it says, "Patient's going in to start the procedure." I'm like, "Okay," I'm getting updated, and then I get a phone call at 10:30. 2 hours later, I get a phone call. I'm like, it's been 2 hours. It's supposed to be a 4-hour surgery. And I pick it up, and the doctor's like, "Hello, Dave. The surgery went well. We're done. She's in recovery. You can come up this afternoon." And he had this really cool accent. I think he was a Asian doctor, I think. I'm not sure. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? 2 hours? I thought it was a 4-hour surgery." He said, "Things just went really well." And so she woke up a little while later, and I drove in to see her, and the nurse is just like, she shows up, and we're not ready for her because we weren't expecting her for another 2 hours, and here she is. And so like everything kind of was ahead of schedule. The surgery was faster. She was in the recovery. The recovery's been a little faster. So, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it as a win right now. I'm gonna take that as a win. So, but yeah, I was dreading the call. Just you never know. And yep, it's all good. So I was like, whew, that's all good. And then I go in there and she's laying there and she's, all hooked up to all the machines. And she's like, I'm in so much pain. I can't take it. And they keep giving her stuff and they just can't get rid of the pain. And I looked at the nurse. I says, is this normal? She's like, yep. I says, you sure? She's like, yep, this is perfectly normal. For 3 hours after surgery, this is exactly what we expected. I'm like, well, can you give her something for the pain? It's like, well, we don't want to give her too much, but yeah, we'll give her a little bit more. So everything's been normal as normal can be. So, but it's just been, me going back and forth and now, taking care of things around here and just all the little things you got to do. And, when you have two people, it's two people doing stuff. And now it's just one person. And Barbara says, well, she's had no COVID. Oh, that's good. That's good. It kind of sucks. It does. You don't want to get it. It's different for everyone. Some people it's a cold. Some people it's a flu. Like I said, I had 5 hours of a bad flu. But I've had that before. When I've had the flu in the past, I've had the sweats and I've had the shakes and all of a sudden it's just boom, and then the fever breaks. You're like, oh man, I'm better now. You take a shower and it's like, okay, and now I'm on the road back. But during that time, it does kind of suck. Johnny Crack Sports, all is well here in Wisconsin. Barbara, thank you, and all is well in Pennsylvania. Steeler fan comes by. Thanks for coming by, Steeler fan. And Bernie, thank you so much. Yep, things have been. I saw her this afternoon before I went to work, and things were good with her then. So she's just in a lot of pain, as suspected. And your mother-in-law feels awful. She got you sick. She makes a great pork schnitzel, though. She's gonna make a ton of it when you feel better. So that's good. And both your in-laws are better. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Barbara says, right now, I know only me, so it's strange doing it all myself. Yep, I know. You know how you feel being. Yep. Well, what's weird is that a year ago, she went on a trip for a cruise with her sister for 10 days. So that was like, so it was just me and the one dog here by herself for 10 days, and we dealt with that. And then before the surgery, she went away with her sister for 4 days. So I've had a lot of time here alone to do the things here. And it's just, how it is when you have two people. You're like, you just kind of fall into your roles at the house. Let's just face it, you help each other out, and sometimes you cross over. For the most part, it's like, I do the guy things. I do the trash, the shoveling, the dirty work. If something goes wrong, I try to take care of that. Any of the quote guy things I do, and then she does the women thing. You know what I mean? She'll take care of the dogs and feed the dogs and make sure the dogs go to the vets and stuff like that. So we have our roles, but now when I'm here, it's like now I'm the one going to the vet, and now I'm the one doing all the trash. And usually she would pack it up and I would bring it out, but now I'm doing all that. And there's all kinds of different things like that. So that's all. It's just kind of trying to figure it out. Like, okay, get up there. What do I got to do today that needs to be done? And the dog's looking at me, like, oh, I got to feed you, because she was the dog person. I did the bills and all that stuff there. So, but it's nothing terrible. But it's just kind of getting used to a new schedule right now. And Steeler fan, and yeah, you do. You feel a little bit lost because you're used to a certain routine, and and again, she'll be back, but she's going to be down. She can't drive for a month, and I don't know how much I'm going to need to help her get out of bed and take a shower and stuff like that. You definitely don't want her falling, so we'll have to see how that goes. It's going to be different, so it's going to be more time consuming things. So instead of, she's not going to be 100% independent. So I'm going to have to help her out with some things. And I told her, let me know what you need to do. If you need me to cook something for us or the dog, or, whatever you need to do, just direct me and I'll do it, So I'm going to be doing some of that. And so before I come down here and play games and stream, I got to make sure that she's okay and that she doesn't need me or anything like that, Back to the chat. Steeler fan. He's had COVID 3 times. Are you the winner? Are you the winner? Are you the COVID winner here in the chat room? February 2020. That's what my wife had. It was no, she not February. She had it in September 2020 was the first time. It was kind of like after the craziness. It just started to settle down in the fall 2020. He was sick for 5 weeks, and the other 2 times it only lasted a few days. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I am kind of hearing that. And the doctor told Mike that only 30% of the world has never had some form of COVID. They're known as novids. That's interesting. And Barbara says she's a novid. I bet you had some kind of thing though, Bob. Right? Because everybody has had some touch of it. It could have been a really weak strain you didn't know. Because there's been several times that I thought I had it. I just never tested myself because I was like, this feels like it. But then it would go away. So you're like, I don't know what it is or not. And all the other times I tested, I was negative. Like every time I thought I had it, I was negative. But there was probably a couple times that I might have. And Pesky Pole headed back to bed. Thanks for coming by. I'm glad I could entertain you for a little bit. And you played some 86 baseball and helped with this anxiety and restlessness. Take care. And he's going to be thinking about my wife. Thank you so much, Pesky Pole. Yep. And, again, and that's what's great about, doing the games here is that, when I'm anxious, I like to play these games. I unwind big time when I play these games. Lately, though, it's just been I just haven't had a chance to come down and play. So I've been watching YouTube videos on all these games that I want to get now. All these little adventure games or, some sports games. And so I've been watching videos on some of the things here. So that's what I do. So I'm kind of preparing to get back into gaming is what I've been doing here instead of, streaming the games. I did get in a Napa football game in before she went into the hospital. That was really fun. I enjoyed the heck out of that. I'm waiting for the next update from Clay for season ticket football because that's a super, super fun game. And we want the pesky pole to get better, And you could make us some soup or something like that. I haven't even shaved in a few days. I got the gray beard coming in. It is hard doing both jobs. And since that started with your wife, it cuts in your gaming time and goofing off time. Yep, it does. It's just, you got to do what you got to do, because someone's down and out. It's like when someone's sick or, or whatever it is, you got to everyone steps up and does their part. It's just easier with the two of us. That's what I find. So I don't have to do, right now I'm kind of doing everything. And she helps me with one of the ice hockey leagues that I run, and now she can't. So I'm kind of doing all that. So some of it is, it's like, it's all in the head. It's okay, what do I need to do here? Because there's so much that you don't do and you're not aware of. And now you got to think, okay, if I got to do this, how do I do this now? I've never done or haven't done it in a long time. That's someone else's job. So now it's like, man, I got to learn someone else's job or remember to do someone else's job. Or it's like, I go to do, I was like, oh, well, how do I do this? And where is that? And how do I handle this? And, again, if I was down and out, she'd have a hard time paying the bills. I do all the bills. And so I'd have to, convey to her how to do all the bills. And, as far as the trash and stuff, I'm not sure she could haul that out. When she was feeling good, she could. But there's all kinds of things. We just have our roles. And when you got to do them both, you got to do a double take because you got to really think about some of the roles that you just do automatically around the house, as we turn this into a chores around the house chat. Barbara says she's never felt any kind of sick. Well, you're lucky then. Good. You don't want to feel that kind of sick. It's terrible. It really is. But anyway, so just to recap, I know Ron and I owe you the Patreons of the Digital to Dice podcast. We owe you a Patreon video. I owe the channel members something here, and I got some pretty cool ideas about some things the channel members can do here on YouTube, and we can kind of hang out and do some things and have some really great discussions. In the end of July, I believe it is, we're scheduled to start year 6, and we have a fantastic guest lined up for that show. And as I talked about, I'm kind of hoping to get some different games here on the channel from time to time. It's still going to be sports, and that's going to be, what I enjoy doing. But I'm hoping to maybe get some either adventure games or some other cards and dice games, because you never know. I mean, sometimes it's, I'll see somebody play a game that's not sports related. It's like, boy, that looks kind of fun. That could be a nice little palate cleanser from some of the sports stuff that I can just kind of get away from sports and enjoy something else for a little bit, because there's so many great adventure games with cards and dice out there that I find. And I've been watching a ton of videos, and some you watch, and this looks interesting, but it's like they start going through the rules and showing you the cards and the symbol, and then after like 5 or 6 or 7 layers of things happening, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not what I don't want this right now. That's too deep for me. I just want something light. This dice game that Ron and I played was just look at the card, roll the dice, and figure out what you want to do. It was just easy. There wasn't any difficulty at all. And yeah, that's the other thing, Alan, too. Doing all the tasks is harder with the stress of someone being in the hospital. Yeah. And with big surgeries, found out you did better as the patient, than I did as the spouse. Yeah. Yeah, you hate to see someone down and out like that. That's the thing. You're like, geez, I'd rather be in your position. So, you just it's mentally taxing. It's mentally challenging. And I agree. It's exactly what I'm feeling right now. It's like, wish I could swap places with you. So, I like to see that. And yes, it's Domestics the Dice podcast tonight, says Justin. That's kind of what it is. It's Domestic the Dice. We're just talking about, why, and that's one of the podcasts we were thinking about doing is like, why, what, that's what it was. It was, how do you find time to play? Whether it's, you negotiating time with the family, or, how do you do it? Do you wait till your wife's in the shower? Or do you wait till the dog's asleep? I mean, how do you find time to game? That was a topic I think we were going to talk about. I think that could be a fun topic too, is try to figure it out. When does everybody game? I think that was one of the things we were going to talk about. Finding time to game. I'm going to write that down, actually. Finding time. That's one of the topics we're going to be talking about, and we're going to get feedback from the audience. Barbara says last year there was so much she could not do, and now she can take care of herself. Oh yeah, we change, adapt, get stronger. Yep, that's what we got to do. Yep. And she would have traded places in a second. Yep. Yeah, I think we all feel that way. We're like, we just don't want to see the people we love go through things like that, And it's nice knowing you're supposed to do the same for you. That feels so good. Yep. It does. It does. This is what we face, and so many of us out of warranty. Yeah. Yeah. Who was it? I was catching up on some of the conventions, because for some reason they had play and APRA at the same time. It's like, no, guys, don't do that. Connect, find out, make them different weekends. Give us 2 or 3 weeks between the two so we can go to both. And I'd like to try to get to at least one next year, maybe both. But they were talking about the person that made the football cards passed away, and the whole bit, and let's face it, our community is an older community, and people are passing away. And who was it? Someone at the applicant, it might have been John at the applicant convention, that said we're all day to day. At our age, we're all day to day, and that's a good point. We're all kind of day to day. And Mike says he'd swap with his wife in a heartbeat, and he wants an extended warranty. Speaking of extended warranties, the day my wife retired, which was the last day of March, the next day, April 1st, fools, she brought her car in because it was acting weird. It was getting error messages. So she brought it in and left it there. 3 days later, this is the beginning of April, they say, oh, you need a whole new engine. Now, it's all covered under the warranty, but you need a whole new engine. I don't know why. I don't know what the problem was, but whatever it was pretty serious. So she needs a whole new engine. So she went like a month. What's going on? Oh, well, we got to order the parts. I got to come in from Ford, and we only got one guy that can do this, blah, 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 blah. So she finally gets a loaner from them after a month. Luckily she didn't have to go to work every day, so we worked around it. But so a month went by, she finally got a loaner car. So that's beginning of May. Where are we now? We're at June 26th. Still no car. Still no car. So they've had to put a whole new engine in. They found out on like the first couple of days of April. Now we're going to be into July next week. So April, May, June, 3 months. 3 months. And she still doesn't have her car back. So she might be fully recovered from the surgery by the time she gets her original car back. So yeah, we talk about extended warranties. It's like, man, she can't even get her car. Oh, it's unbelievable. And they're halfway through the chemo. Good. That's good to know. And Fenner says the topic of finding time to play would be a wonderful discussion. I wonder that every week. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We'll put that out there. We'll ask it here. We'll put it out on Facebook and Delphi forums. And how do you find time to play? Do you have scheduled times? Do you got to work around things? I mean, how does it work out? For me, it's usually, we have supper, we watch a little TV, and then she likes to go to bed and either read a book or watch TV. And she's got the little dog with her, so that's what she does. So that's when I come downstairs and I can play or stream or whatever I do. So it just kind of works out that we have our time together after work or whatever we're doing during the day. And then, we each can kind of go do what we enjoy doing. And, sometimes she just likes to sit and watch certain TV shows, and sometimes she likes to read a book. And so I can kind of come down here and do that. But, so it's interesting to see what other people are doing here. And Barbara says she wasn't able to play anything for a year and just started playing the games in the last few months. It's very refreshing to play without feeling guilty. It takes a while. It does. This stuff takes a while, to get used to it, especially when you lose somebody, and it's a whole new way of doing things. And, you feel, I went out and last night, when she was in the hospital, my dog wanted Chinese food real bad last night. So I went out and got him Chinese food. The dog wanted Chinese food really bad last night. And I felt a little guilty that I was going out with Chinese food without her, but, so in a small way I did, but the dog was happy. He didn't get his crab rangoon, but he did get a little bit of what do I have? Spare ribs and chicken fingers he likes, and I just cut up a little piece for him. He likes the rice too. So there he is over there. He's sacked out over there. But this poor guy, the guy that had his leg surgery, his legs are doing well, by the way. He's been alone. Poor guy's been alone because the little dog is off with someone, one of her friends, so that's good. So I didn't have to take care of two dogs. But this poor guy here, it's been so hot, I haven't walked him. And in the last 3 or 4 days, I just been, back and forth to the hospital. Then I've been working. So he's been here by himself, the poor guy, only for a few hours at a time. But, he's taking it. Well, I come home from work tonight. He's like, where you been? And I was like, yeah, I know I had to work tonight. Because usually he has somebody here, either the other dog or the wife or whatever. So even he's been alone. So we've both been adapting the best we can. But anyway, so yeah. So anything else before we wrap up here? I'm over here doing my laundry for the night. Sounds like my dog is as weird as our cats. Yeah, cats are weirder. Cats are very weird. But yeah, let's get back to the. It is so hot outside. My house is hot. I haven't had the AC on today. My house is like 75 or 78 degrees, which is hot for a house in the summertime. At least up here it is. In the wintertime, it's like, 75 is nice. But in the summer, it's like, oh, it's too hot. It's kind of really hot out here. Not like it was last week when it was like 90 degrees at, midnight. That was nuts. I think we hit a record high last week too at Logan Airport up here. It was 98 degrees, I think it was, Myra said she likes it hot. Some like it hot. 97. That's ridiculous. 97. That's ridiculous. That's like a furnace. That's like sitting in a furnace. That's really difficult. Just I try to have the fans going and stuff, and I get the doors open, but it's still almost 80 degrees outside. So you're pulling in hot air. So like, oh man, Oh, you don't have any AC. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, get the fans cranking, 97 in Georgia. And you can't imagine no AC in the house in New England. Yeah. 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 When I was a kid, it didn't bother me. I remember we would spend summers at my grandparents' house, and we would be on the second floor. I think it was a two-story, but it was like a raised two-story. So it was almost like it wasn't 3 levels, but it was felt like 2.5. And we're upstairs in the attic that was converted to a bedroom in the middle of summer, and we just have the window open and with a fan on, we'd be fine. We wouldn't need AC at all as kids. I would drive for years. I never used AC in any of my vehicles. In fact, because I never used it, when I went to use it, it didn't work because you're supposed to use it, every now and then to keep it running. I guess that's how it works. And I never use my AC in my cars. I like the windows open and hold it. Now that I'm a little bit older, I'm finding I'm using my AC all the time in my car in the summer. I kind of get it now. I kind of get it now. Yeah. But yeah, now we have the AC going up here. Yeah, we actually a few years ago we put ACs in the bedrooms. We got a guy that we play with runs a company. He gave us a deal on an outdoor unit that will pump in AC. It's not the window units; it's something else. And I was like, oh man, now I sleep like a log in the summer. Before I couldn't sleep at all; it's just too hot. Now it's nice. And some like it hot. Yes, are you a Star Wars guy? You're a Star Wars guy, I bet you are. And Mark says he's had record highs for 4 days last week. Yeah. And the fans are going, going, and going. Yes, they are. D. Scott comes by. What's going on, D? And you don't feel it as a child, too busy enjoying life. Maybe that's a good point, too. You know, I remember those nights as a kid up in my grandparents' attic. What it was me and my brother, or just me. And he had a little AM radio. It's about this big, little bit bigger than a cell phone, almost like a walkie-talkie. And I would take that to bed with me, and I'd listen all night. And I used to like the Red Sox games because just that little, the audio of a baseball game in the middle of the summer at night was great. I remember, like, I used to like when they played in Texas. I don't know why, but when they played in Texas, it was just so relaxing. Maybe because it was so hot in Texas that everybody was chill because they were too hot. But I remember listening to some games and it was just like, you hear the little crowd ambiance, and then here's the pitch, and that's fouled off. And it was just so relaxing at night to fall asleep to the baseball game back in the day, late 70s, early 80s. That was a fun time. And then every now and then I'd listen to talk radio, and I still do. I still listen to a lot of talk radio. But anyway. But yeah, like Mike said, you're too busy as a kid, to worry about the heat. Yep, you really are. Yeah, to not have a care in the world again would be great. Yep, yep, it would be good times when all you had to do was worry about it was jumping in the pool and playing wiffle ball, and good times as a kid. We had some bad times as a kid. Not gonna lie, things were not good all the time for me as a kid, but we made the best of it. I grew up. Okay, we'll talk a little bit here, I guess. I grew up my teenage years, or some of them, right across the street from a park, and it was like almost like a oval, like a track and field type of thing, and they had a baseball field there. Problem is that there was no left or right field because it was an oval. It's almost like, was it like the Polo Grounds or something like that? That if you hit it to left field, it's in the woods, you lost the ball. So we got real good at hitting the center field all the time. Played baseball every day, wiffle ball, baseball, tag football, you name it. We played everything over the puck, like every day. And I would just get up in the morning at whatever time, and just couldn't wait to see those first kids come walking down the street to the park so we could play. Just good times. Good times. And then when I went to my grandparents' house, they had a pool. So we would play wiffle ball all day and sit in the pool all day. And just we wrinkled. We were in the pool so much our skin would get all wrinkled. Yeah, good times. Good times back in the day. Good times. But anyway. So, well, that is that. So that's a channel update. I didn't expect to go this long, but we had a nice little chat going in the chat room. So I'm glad I could entertain some people here late at night on the East Coast. I got to go back to my folding my laundry, and I think while I'm doing that, I'm going to watch some YouTube videos. I was watching a couple more little quick adventure games. There's a guy that plays on Tuesday night with us, and he's into all that stuff there, and he's always like, "Oh, check out this game, check out this game." So I'm checking out all these little games that he's giving me, and so far he's had some pretty good advice and some things that are really kind of fun. So anyway, well, thanks for listening, and again, I appreciate everybody being patient as we, as it's up to me. This time it's on me. Sometimes Ron has the time issues. This time it's me finding the time to record the podcast, to get some channel members, things going here on the channel, and then also some Patreon stuff with me and Ron. So we've been talking about it, and we're going to get everybody caught up on that and try to make it worth everybody's while. We just thank you for the support and thank you for being patient with us as we go through some things. And luckily it's nothing terrible. It's serious things that we have to deal with, and that's kind of what we're doing here. But hopefully things will be back to normal pretty soon. And I know I'll sleep better tonight, knowing that she was a lot better today than she was yesterday. I didn't have a very good sleep last night, laying in bed like, oh my gosh. But today when I saw her, that she was a lot better. And then, like you said in the chat room, this is one of those surgeries that the first few days are terrible, but then you really improve. And that's what we're kind of hoping is going to happen with her. So, Barbara, thanks for coming by. Good talking to you. Thank you for the messages that you've been sending me. Appreciate that. Mike, same to you. Thank you for the messages, and hopefully you are doing well too. And we'll continue to work together here. When you figure out how to fold a fitted sheet, you've made it as a housekeeper. I don't. She does all that, so she's gonna have to walk me through that. So, but we'll see when she gets home. She's tough. She's tough, and I'm kind of hoping that when she comes home that she'll be okay. Sportsflix, thanks for coming by, Mr. Sportsflix. I appreciate that so much, Dealer fan. Thanks for the kind words. And if all goes well and things get done tomorrow and things go well and she's okay, and I don't think she's coming home for a few days. So tomorrow night, I might have tomorrow night open to do something, and I got to do something fun. Now, what fun is, I don't know, but I need to take my mind off of things and have something fun tomorrow night. So I could see you guys maybe as early as tomorrow night. Then after that, it probably wouldn't be to the weekend. But again, thanks for all the support, all the nice messages you guys have sent. As they mean a lot, and I try to get back to everybody, but it's nice. And I got some people too that have emailed me that are asking from some of the files that I got, the APA files for hockey or football. I'm going to try to get those over to you as soon as I can. Again, I haven't really been on the computer much in the last few days, so I don't have access to send them, but I will try to get them over to you as soon as I can. So that will be that. So anyway, that was a fun chat. Thanks for keeping me company tonight, and we shall talk to you all later. Thanks for coming by. And that's the update for June 25th. No, now June 26th. I'm Dave. Bye-bye.